Hello, this is Don, and we are on the seventh critical step in rolling out your e-learning plan. This step is titled, How do I roll out my e-learning system to ensure maximum user participation? It is absolutely critical that after you have gone through the various steps that we laid out earlier on, identifying the do's and don'ts, looking for an e-learning vendor, minimizing the risks of the system, and you get to the point where you've selected a vendor and you're looking to roll out, you need to know that the best and most well-laid plans frequently meet with unexpected outcomes, and you should have a contingency plan and a communication plan to ensure that you are able to overcome any of those challenges should they occur. One of the most critical things to ensure a smooth rollout is really comes down to a communication plan. Believe it or not, we've had so many companies that have gone through all of these steps and have gotten to the point of rollout and not have an effective communication plan, and then things start falling apart, or maybe a critical piece gets missing, a milestone gets pushed back, and essentially they have no way to recover. So the first thing I always encourage any organization to do is to have a well laid out communication plan. We know that failures would come if you don't have the communication plan in place. So, for example, what is a communication plan? Well, typically this would start with the e-commerce, the e-learning team, the folks that have been tasked to develop the e-learning plan. It would typically include things like major steps that would be anticipated in bringing the new system online. It might be in the form of an email to senior management. It might be laying out steps that folks need to be aware of, milestones that would need to be met. It also should really lay out some risk assessments and build into it a buffer in case certain milestones are not met. What do we do if we're late for content development, or our content development efforts are being pushed back a little bit? How do we build in place a contingency plan? Do we go out and purchase content to roll out our e-learning system? So your communication plan should really come from the communication, the e-learning team manager, and of course include all other members. And then of course, as you roll out your plan and as you roll out your e-learning system, you are going to have updates. We've checked some successes. We've been able to migrate users onto the new system. Yay, let's celebrate that. Let's send out an email or maybe a newsletter throughout an organization to announce those successes. And of course, if you miss deadlines and there are certain missteps in there, you need to be communicating those too. I mean, it's not just enough to push those under the rug, as it were, but you need to be communicating with the rest of your team as well as the rest of your organization. Now, within an e-learning system, it's absolutely critical to assess risk from the top to the bottom. Things like what happens if a key personnel person or key member of your team suddenly is either taken ill or leaves the company or has to travel. What happens if you miss certain deadlines for migrating users over and your old vendor is about to cut off your account? You need to be aware of those risks up front. And of course, once the system is in place, here's what you want to do. You want to make a limited kind of a trial run. Use some of your team members on the e-learning project team, but also make sure you have external folks. You have people that have not been as close to this project from the get-go as possible. The reason is this: you are going to pick up a lot of user experience information that is valuable. This would allow you to craft frequently asked questions. This would allow you to craft a support site. And of course, this is where an experienced company would really come in handy as you work to transition to an online system, because as you do this trial run, you are going to meet certain bugs, maybe certain issues that came up that you didn't anticipate, and you need to make sure that the company that you're going with has the tools and the resources and the wherewithal and the quick turnaround to be able to ensure that they're giving you all of the good support that you need to be able to have an effective and smooth rollout. So do a kind of a trial run with some of your team members, obviously, but also with external folks so that they can give you invaluable information that would help as you roll out to the whole organization. Now, the next thing you want to do, of course, is after that limited trial run, and you fix everything, then do a company-wide rollout. But before you do, you need to communicate with your entire organization that this is coming down the pipe. The one thing I always say is this: a simple email that says, on June 20th, we're going to be rolling out our new e-learning system. You might be receiving email from the system with such subject line, with such information in there. Please accept this email. Do not junk it. Do not send it to your junk folder or delete it. Those are absolutely important information pieces to send out before your system actually hits the inboxes of your new users. But it comes down to this: communicate, communicate, communicate. It's important to share from top down your successes, share your milestones, let everybody on board know exactly when things are going to be in place. And if not, make sure that you have a contingency plan. We all know what's going down there in the Gulf. It is critical that companies have contingency plans and backup plans in case plan A does not go as well as you anticipated. You follow all these simple steps and your e-learning rollout will be as smooth as a breeze. Of course, contact eLeap. We have plenty of experience. We've been doing this with a lot of companies all over the world, and we can help you migrate your account over, suddenly implement your e-learning program with very, very limited and dare say a painless experience. Again, this is Don, and I hope these tips have been helpful. We would like to hear from you. What are your experiences? Feel free to contact us on our site, www.eleapsoftware.com. Thank you.